Life can be very complicated and hard. This almost doesn't require an explanation. No one starts on the exact same path or with the exact same advantages or disadvantages. We all don't have the same privileges and we all don't enjoy the same advantages. But it is our job as individuals to try our best and forge our own path out of life. We are all running a race, but we're all responsible no matter where we start to fight and try our best to achieve our goals. For me, no one encapsulates this better, this idea of the grittiness of life and fighting disadvantages, than my grandfather, Benjamin Clark Sr. Born in 1924, he was brought up right before the Great Depression, one of the largest financial crashes the world has ever seen. He had a rough upbringing, to say the least, and at the age of 13, his family told him he had to fend for himself. This wasn't out of malice or anger at him. It was simply because there were too many mouths to feed in the household. With many brothers and sisters, Ben had to go out on his own. He had to make his own path. Luckily, an aunt contacted him and offered him a roof over his head. So, out west he went, traveling, moving to California, where he would forge his own path. He ended up working while pursuing his education at a young age, working on a farm. Fast forward a few years, and he's 17. It is December 7th, 1941, and the Japanese attack. Everyone was outraged at the time because of the attack, and the feeling of revenge amongst the population was growing, and my grandfather, Ben, knew something was brewing. So at his 18th birthday, a few months later, he enlisted in the army. And there he went. He set out toward the Western Front, fighting the Nazis. The war was hard, and it was a struggle at times for him and the other troops, but there was a glimmer of hope that could be caught from it. He ended up discovering some loves that would last him the rest of his life, mainly photography and music. I know, not exactly an interesting combination, or a combination you would expect to see in a war zone, but it happened nonetheless, and he fell in love. He fell in love with music and photography, as I said. How, though? That's the question you might be asking. Well, he was actually assigned to be his company bugler, which is interesting considering he had never played music a day in his life. I don't know exactly what was going through his officer's head whenever he, said, "Ben, you're the bugler," but he had to pick it up quickly, and he did. And it ended up fostering a love for music. He fell in love with trumpet specifically and would play it for the rest of his life. Now, about the photography, he purchased a camera in Europe and would use it to document the daily lives of the troops and their struggles, their hardships, the good times and the bad, and also the atrocities committed by the Nazis during the war. This had a lasting impact on his life, and he never forgot what he saw. But that tenacity from his childhood and from his experiences in the war stayed with him, and he continued to work and strive for success. Ended up founding his own business as a photography shop, and worked to send 3 kids through college. And also send my father to law school. This is truly what it means to persevere through hard times, and it is the definition of me, at least, what I consider to be perseverance. Why I consider perseverance to be representative of my grandfather, and it is why I decided to commemorate him in this speech.